Jack-o'-lantern, I'm waiting in the open. Give me the order, night.
Hello dear friends, welcome. Today we are going to talk about another one of the great classics from the 80s. Undoubtedly, listening to its catchy melody takes you back in time to those beautiful years. However, it is highly likely that you are not aware of the big deception hiding behind its story or why its performer couldn't replicate the success. Did you also know that there is a Spanish version? Find out about that and more with this tribute to Baltimore and their great song, Tarzan Boy.
Jack-o'-lantern, I'm waiting in the open.
The story of Baltimore is short but filled with curiosities, even from its very beginning. Contrary to what many might believe, Baltimore was not an American or British group, but rather originated as a musical project in Italy. The mastermind behind it all was the Italian musician and composer, Maurizio Bassi, who had released a couple of songs as a singer in 1974 and another pair in 1981 under the name Malva. However, these releases had no impact. Despite this failure as a singer, Maurizio was convinced that he could create a successful musical project that would generate a lot of money. He had ample experience in creating disco melodies, and one of his creations, Sign on Dance, had won the famous festival bar the previous year in 1985, performed by the musician and DJ Carrara. But in this way, leveraging all his experience in the Italo disco genre, Maurizio created a catchy melody in early 1985 and hired the American lyricist, Navy Jacket, to write the lyrics. The composer crafted a peculiar story depicting the life of a young man struggling to survive in the jungle, comparing himself to Tarzan and inviting others to do the same. Once the song was ready, Maurizio Bassi recorded it with his own voice and was very satisfied with the result. However, Mauricio's plan was to find someone with a distinctive and eye-catching appearance to present as the singer, thus maximizing the chances of success. He conducted auditions with various individuals but ultimately chose a young paramedic he had recently met. His name was Jimmy McShane, and he was from Northern Ireland. Jimmy was not only a paramedic, but he was actually a great dancer and had a somewhat complicated life. His full name was James Harvey McShane, and he was born in the Irish city on May 23, 1957. From a young age, he showed great talent for music, learning to play the guitar and bass as a teenager. He confessed to his parents that he was gay, but they rejected him and denied him any kind of support. He also experienced bullying from his high school peers. After this, Jimmy moved to London, where he studied theatre, dance, and singing. In the early 80s, he was hired as a backup singer and dancer for the artist Diddy Jackson, with whom he went on several tours. During one of these tours, he visited the Italian city of Milan and was fascinated by it. He decided to settle there and try his luck. He learned to speak Italian, obtained Italian citizenship, and started singing and dancing in small local clubs, albeit without much success. Due to bad luck and financial difficulties, Jimmy managed to secure a job as an emergency medical technician for the Red Cross in Milan. He had previous experience in this field in his native Ireland. It was during this time that he casually met the producer Maurizio Bassi, who noticed Jimmy's dancing abilities. Maurizio proposed that Jimmy become part of his new project, which he named Baltimore after a type of plant. Despite not being a bad singer, the plan was for Jimmy to only lip-sync while the vocals would be his. All television performances would be done with playback, keeping it a secret. Jimmy McShane accepted the conditions, and 5 more songs were recorded to complete the debut album, titled Living in the Background. Tarzan Boy was released in April 1985 and became a huge success in Europe, reaching number 6 on the Italian singles chart and entering the top 5 in numerous countries such as Germany, Switzerland, Austria, Sweden, France, the Netherlands, and Norway. The song's popularity continued to grow and it made it onto the UK charts, reaching number 3 in August 1985. 2 months later, in October, it was released in Canada, reaching number 5 on the Canadian charts. Towards the end of the year, in the USA, the song was released by the record label EMI. Although it took a bit longer to climb the charts, it reached number 13 in February 1986, which was its best position, staying on the charts for an astonishing 6 months. Baltimore's popularity skyrocketed, and they were soon invited to the USA, where they performed on famous shows like Solid Gold and American Bandstand, making Jimmy McShane widely recognized. Although Jimmy always lip-synced, on some occasions, he would perform the famous Tarzan yell, because if anyone hadn't noticed, the most memorable chorus of the song is actually a musicalized version of the famous yell of the Jungle Man. He is also highly remembered by fans of 80s music for the music video of Tarzan Boy, which was aired on channels like MTV. The video was a simple production, showing the heavily made-up singer dancing and moving within a comic book. As a curiosity, in those same years, Miguel Bose released the music video for his famous song, Amante Bandido, where he could be seen with a very similar makeup to Jimmy McShane's in Tarzan Boy. Both videos featured comic book panels, and the truth is that the two singers even resembled each other. If you remember these famous music videos, leave us a comment. When Jimmy McShane's homosexuality became known, speculation arose that the lyrics of Tarzan Boy, where a man invited others to come to the jungle, were actually a call for other homosexuals to come out of the closet. Although this doesn't seem to make much sense since Jimmy didn't contribute to the lyrics, over time the song became a kind of gay anthem in various countries. As a curiosity, the enormous success of the song even inspired a merengue version released in 1986 by the New York Bank.
¡Oh, sí! Quiero estar sumido entre la selva. Quiero ser un Tarzan Boy.
With lyrics in Spanish that spoke of the desire to escape from the world and its civilization. Did you know about this version? But in terms of sales, I want to be important. The second song released by Baltimore A was Wood and Buggy, and although it managed to enter the top 20 in some European countries, it had little success internationally. My parents are signing now, Dad. When for freedom. Mauricio's dream had come true, and they were making a large amount of money. However, when Baltimore A's second album titled Survivor in Love was released in 1987, none of the songs stood out or made it to the main charts. The record label withdrew its support, and Mauricio decided to dissolve the group, which only had 2 years of existence. Despite Baltimore A's short lifespan, their song became over time one of the great 80s classics, and the audience still holds it dear. In fact, as a curious fact, the song re-entered the Billboard Hot 100 chart in 1993, 8 years after its original release, thanks to the popularity of a Listerine commercial. This new wave led the song to be featured in successful 90s movies like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 or Beverly Hills Ninja. As for Jimmy McShane, he retired from the entertainment industry, and little was known about him in the following years. In 1994, he was diagnosed with AIDS, and faced with a grave health situation, he left Italy and returned to his hometown. He passed away on March 29, 1995, at the age of 37. A spokesperson for the family issued the following statement after his death: "He faced his illness with bravery and died with great dignity. A commemorative plaque was placed on Maxim and his father's grave, who had passed away 3 years earlier. Although Jimmy McShane never actually sang, this fact that could have become a great scandal like Milli Vanilli's never became public. It wasn't until some time after Jimmy's death that the secret was revealed by musician and producer Tom Hacker when the scandal couldn't reach McShane anymore. Please, leave your comments about this video, share with your friends and also subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video. Thanks and have a great day.
Boy.
Like a light, I'm waiting in the open.